another robust program that the city of San Angelo has for their citizens, right? It's a fantastic program, and I say robust because it is, right? It's every other week, and that's pretty substantial. So it gives people an opportunity every other week to start cleaning some things up, right? Mm-hmm. Those are designed for not only a convenience, but it makes the town look. It helps the town look very, very good. It gives people an opportunity that wouldn't normally load up a pickup truck or a trailer, or who can and can't get to the landfill on a Saturday or whenever, it's convenient, and it's been hugely successful. In some places it's very successful, right? There's a lot of people that put out a lot of stuff. So typically it's 5 cubic yards, right?
So break that down a little bit more.
Yeah, I knew that was coming, right? Yeah. And that's hard, right? Even me being in the business, right? I wouldn't normally just look at something and go, oh, wow, that's a 5 cubic yard. It's hard for me to even know what exactly is 5 cubic yards, right? And so we kind of give examples of measurement that we're all familiar with, right? So if you look at like the size of a washer and dryer, and if you lined up 3 washers and dryers, that would be, about a 5 cubic yard, or your normal sized, I'll pick on Ford, a normal size like F-150, pickup truck bed, right? Not an 8-foot extended, or whatever they're called, long bed. Your average sized pickup truck, could be pretty close to 5 cubic yards.
That's a lot. I mean, it's a lot.
That's a lot. It really is. It's a robust program. I mean, it's about 10 bags of leaves in a nice square or circle would equal, about that.
Regular bed, not a long bed. I think that'll resonate.
Yeah, like a regular, your normal pickup truck, right? And that's open to interpretation, right? It's like, well, my pickup truck's normal and I've got a blah, blah. We all know what I'm saying, right? It's just your average half-ton pickup truck bed.
Mm-hmm.
How often do people put out too much? I'm curious.
Depends
about
on
that.
the time of year.
Okay.
In the fall, we see a lot of bags, right? A lot of leaves. People are doing their fall cleanups at home. And you'll see, especially in some of the areas that have obviously a lot of trees, you'll see people, I mean, we've seen 40, 50, and 60 bags of leaves.
I've seen it too.
Yeah, we've all seen it, right? And a lot of times I see it on the PDVs, right? We see them because we're definitely going to document it, because the second we pick up 10 bags and we leave the other 30, they're going to be placing a call to either you or Republic or somebody, saying that you were skipped, or go on Facebook and do what a lot of people like to do on Facebook, right? And so you in my opinion, if you have 30 some odd bags of leaves, you have every other week bulk pickup. I personally don't see a problem with, you can put out all 30, great. I mean, put them out, but it's going to take us, 3 cycles, two cycles to get those. To me, that's not a problem, right? I don't have as many trees anymore because of the freeze, but when I did, I had 3, and I would have a good 20 bags, and I knew that I could only put 10 out, right? And I know in your head you're going, well, you can probably put out 100 and they're going to pick it up, but I don't, right? That's just not the way it works, right? I do what what I'm supposed to do as a citizen, and I don't call my driver and go, hey, I have 80 bags, I need you to get them. That's not the way it works, right? I put out my 10 and it takes me two cycles to do it, and that's just how you have to do it. Because I do get those calls. It's like, well, I mean, how people say, I want to do the right thing, but please tell me what I'm supposed to do. I've got 30 bags. I'm like, well, look, we're not picking up those 30 bags because we're being mean. We're picking them up. We're not picking them up because we have so many other customers that we have to get to. So that's why, we want to make sure we get that route finished, and we don't want to leave your house on the ground when you have a hot water heater and maybe 2 bags of something because we went to Brian's house and picked up 40 bags and now we can't get you.
You bring up a good point. How quickly, when it comes to bulk, which this is probably very unpredictable, how quickly does a truck fill up? And then what is that process like? They probably have to go to the landfill to dump everything and then go back to their route. Is that how that works?
It's exactly how it works. And you're also dealing with non-compactable items for the most part, right? You're dealing with the washers and dryers and the couches, the mattresses, right? Those are basically you're putting a spring. Those things don't compact, right? So, and we take mattress, you put a mattress out. So when you start taking all those non-compactable items on a heavy day, you do fill up and multiple trips to the landfill, which is another reason why it's very important to understand that that's another reason why we can't just take everything you have, right? Because there's not enough room and not enough time in the day. And that's why. It's not that we're being mean and we're saying, no, it's 10 because we say it's 10. It's 10 for a reason, because we've got to be able to finish those routes, because we have to be able to service every customer. And if it takes us 2 cycles to pick up all your stuff, then so be it, right? But we will get it done.
So regarding the items that can be picked up, there's obviously an extensive list of what can be picked up.
Right.
What can't be picked up? What's top of list?
Top of list, propane bottles, right? Obviously a no-no. Again, paint, construction debris. What I mean by that is if you just refabbed a house, right? I mean, it's not designed to be a roll-off for a construction job, right? And whether you hired somebody to do it or not, we're not picking on the folks that are fixing your home up, but it's not designed to pick up your doors that if you read, we see a lot of that. People are getting new doors and they put out 15 doors and there's
a different process for that.
Well, it's construction debris, right? It's a roll-off process, or you bring it to the landfill, right? Yeah. I mean, that's not designed. It's designed for household, what you and I would typically have in our garage or our backyard. That's what it's designed for. If you're refabbing your house, or you're adding on to your patio outside or things of that, that's a construction job, right? And that there's a whole nother outlet for that. That's not designed for bulk pickup. And I would say a lot of the complaints that we get, that I hear, are, why don't y'all take, if I'm doing the work myself, why aren't you taking it? Well, it's just not household debris, right? That's a construction job, and that has another outlet, because that debris is heavier, it's more dense, there's a lot more of it, right? We don't want concrete, things of that nature, right? Because it's super heavy. I think I already said paint, but really the glass, right? We don't want, we have people that, God bless them. I wish I knew how. We have people that do their own windows at home. We can't take your old windows, right? They're full of glass, and once that glass gets put in, think about it, we're throwing it in the truck. We don't want that glass all over the streets, right? So we don't take things of that nature. So it's not construction debris related. It's mostly the stuff that you guys are using. The average person is doing at home, every day, working in their yard, or cleaning out their garage, bicycles, things like that. Of course, take all that. If you have it in your garage and it's not hazardous, chances are it can go out in your bulk pickup. If you're doing a construction job at home, that's not what it's designed for. If you have someone working at your home, it's absolutely not designed for that, because it's not a commercial, right? There's a difference between being a commercial job and being a residential service. This is a residential service paid for by the residents on their water bills. So it is not designed for your contractor to come in and do this, that, and the other, and then throw it all at the curb for the taxpayers that paid their water bill to pay for, right? That contractor, and I'm going to catch heat, but that contractor should be disposing of their own debris at the landfill properly. I catch a lot of flack off that one, but it's just the way it goes, right? It's just like the guys that are coming over to cut your grass, right?
That's what I was going to ask.
So it's another one that I catch a lot of flack on, is because I know a lot of those guys, and they're like, man, I can't believe you won't let me do. So that is a commercial entity, right? You are out and they're mowing and they're doing their thing, right? They're mowing grass and they're taking care of people and they're making money and providing for their family. That's a business, right? And that business should have its own outlet for the waste that business is producing. So if I'm ABC Landscape and I come over and mow your grass and you don't like me to mulch and you tell me to bag it, and I have 15 bags of grass, that becomes their grass. That is no longer yours, right? That's a commercial entity. And I catch a lot of flack over that, but that's just the way it goes. That's fine. But typically, that is a residential service and it is not for a commercial entity to utilize. Some slips through the cracks, absolutely. But it is not designed for commercial folks to take advantage of.
So we had this question before, and I think we've answered it, but I want you to tell me a little bit more about it. So appliances that use Freon.
Yes.
Tell me the process of that for bulk.
Yeah, another controversial, I think I get a lot more questions on that than I do, why didn't you pick up my 30 bags, right? Look, Freon has to be eliminated from your refrigerator or your freezer, whatever you have, by a licensed technician, and it has to be, they have that orange sticker that goes on them.
Isn't it called green tagged?
Yeah,
it's not green.
Yeah, it's like a green tag, but it's orange or something along those lines.
Green tag or it's an orange tag.
Yeah, so you just have to have, unfortunately, and there's a cost associated to it, right? I'm not exactly sure what somebody charges to come out and do it, but you can't just cut a Freon line and just let it. That defeats the whole purpose of why it's not permitted by the state. If you're just cutting the line and letting it bleed out, it's defeating the purpose of why that law even exists, right? It's not a republic law, right? Republic's not saying, hey, we want you to spend another whatever X amount of dollars to have a technician come over. It's not us. It's the state saying that. I mean, we have to do it. People get mad at me over it. I don't make the rules, right? We just have to follow them. But you have to have somebody come over and properly bleed those lines. And then once it is tagged, our guys will pick it up. So if you don't tag it, we will not pick it up.
So in a similar fashion, if someone has a propane grill, if they took the propane tank out of it, could they put the grill in?
No, sir.
No? Okay.
No propane bottles.
No. So if they were disposing of the grill, and they took the propane out of the grill, could they put the grill in for bulk? Of course. Okay.
Yeah, on those barbecue grills, and by all means, I'm not a barbecue expert on propane, but I just know what mine looks like. And when I take the hoses off, I mean, there's absolutely no way that propane can be trapped in there because it's open on both ends. But so yes, you could absolutely barbecues all day long.
So when it comes to bulk placement, we talked about the bins earlier. Is there anything in particular about where and should they space that a certain amount of distance from the trash bin? Is there any rules and regulations on that or advice?
Well, we want it to be visible, right? And I will say this. Let's be very conscious about what we don't want thrown away that's laying at the curb. We have inadvertently picked up some things that that we shouldn't have. That we thought we should have, that people say we shouldn't have. We've picked up pools, kiddie pools and things like that, and people call and get mad, and then usually we either go out and replace it or say, hey man, it was literally right. So be conscious about where we're putting it. Yeah. Because if you're putting it, should be where your trash is picked up, right? And it should be not in the street. Keep it on as close to the curb as you can. Like on everyone's property is different. Mine is on exactly where my garbage cans goes, but it's about 5 feet behind them on my, I have mine's, this particular place is rocks, so it's on my rocks, and they see it and they know where to. They're going to see it. They'll see it, but just make sure it's not where you keep things that you want to keep, because our guys are going to throw it. If it's by the curb and it's bulk day, they're going to think you don't want it anymore. Mm-hmm. So try not to put anything that you want out by the curb, so we don't inadvertently pick it up, because it happens a lot.
I know something that I do is whenever I have bulk, if I have lighter weight material, I try to put that on the bottom, and stack heavier stuff on it, because we talked about those winds earlier, and you don't want to dirty your neighborhood by things blowing away before they get picked up.
Yep, so. That's exactly how I do it. So put the lighter stuff on the bottom and the heavier stuff on top in case you get a wind gust. We don't have stuff in the street. So it's a great point.